And the Myanmar military government says 2,000 people have died and thousands more are injured after Friday's earthquake. The military government has declared a week of national mourning as search and rescue efforts continue. And for more on this, we're joined by Kanni Wignaraja, who is a UN Assistant Secretary General and Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific at the United Nations Development Programme. Now, Ms. Wignaraja, we know there's not a lot of information coming out of Myanmar at the moment, but what can you tell us about the scale of devastation there, especially considering the already dire situation before the earthquake?
That's exactly the point, Angela. The people who are affected, we're seeing about 14 million people if you take the urban and rural areas combined in central and northwestern regions. These are people already living at near or below subsistence level, at least 75% of them. So this is on top of that. And to me, you need a massive recovery effort immediately together with the relief that's needed. You've seen the pictures of people living now in tents on the street because they're still worried about aftershocks, and there was a massive aftershock even on Sunday. But the need to get in there, the rapid needs assessment teams of the UN have started their work. If you just look at Sagaing town, about 80% of it is destroyed. So for UNDP, the immediate need is the debris removal and then putting back some of the water supply and helping the hospitals and shelters with solar and getting some electricity going so that there's water points. We have teams with UNICEF, WHO, WFP also looking at food and health needs together with the other countries in the region that are helping out.
Now, you speak about the immediate needs of the destruction in Mandalay and also in Sagaing. As the second largest economic hub, how has the quake impacted economic activities in the short to medium term, and how can the area recover from that?
You know, this is Mandalay is the commercial hub of even throughout the war. And you're very right that the issue is to get the local economy back. They have reopened the Naypyidaw airport to some extent. So you have Yangon and Naypyidaw still now functioning. But remember, a lot of the authorities were hit in Naypyidaw. And so there's quite some issue of how much of that commercial activity can come back fast. But certainly for UNDP, getting the economy back up and running. And one way to do that, by the way, is to immediately provide cash for work for local businesses, for people to get back to rebuilding very quickly, but to put cash in their hands and get shelters from shelters to homes rebuilt. This time, much more earthquake resistant, because you've seen in Naypyidaw, in Mandalay, in Sagaing town, everything has just collapsed. And this is really damaging. But it's a moment to also put things back and build back safer.
And one big challenge to that, though, would be Myanmar's ongoing political instability and the conflict since the 2021 military coup. What challenges does UNDP face currently implementing relief efforts, and how are these being addressed?
You know, for all of the UN, including UNDP, you're right that access is critical. We do have our teams, the UNDP teams, the other UN teams on the ground now in Naypyidaw, but also in Mandalay region and in Sagaing region. The issue here is, can we get enough heavy equipment in there fast enough? Local communities, it's amazing their resilience. I mean, the sense of coming together and helping out to both in search and rescue, but also in looking at how to put pieces back together again. Everyone's there helping out. But you can't do this. This is a country that has had not much aid coming in for obvious reasons. So it's critical that the authorities also halt all military action and certainly the airstrikes, etc., that allow people to just take a breath and get out there safely. It's bad enough when nature is against you. You don't need further attacks at this time while they're trying to put their lives back together. I would say clean water is critical. Getting the hospitals and clinics back is hugely immediate need. But also just electricity and communications. The telecommunications is off. This is a part of the world where if on a good day, only 1/3 of people had access to the internet and telecom. So this is something that has to go beyond immediate relief. You've got to look at taking the moment to put a full recovery package that includes mediation and peace negotiations at this time.
And in the near term as well, we know the UN has allocated an initial $5 million for relief efforts. And also aid is pouring in rapidly from different countries like China, Russia, India, and Thailand even. And the Red Cross also putting out an appeal for $100 million. How is the UNDP collaborating with international agencies and also neighboring countries to ensure that effective aid delivery?
I think at moments like this, particularly as you don't have that type of central coordinating function that a country usually would have, in Naypyidaw, the authorities themselves find that a lot of their infrastructure is destroyed. They've lost a lot of people just to the earthquake. But you're seeing all these countries that you mentioned and more coming in now. I think whether it's the Red Cross, whether it's the UN teams and UNDP, the immediate relief and the rescue operations, standing up just basic relief operations is indeed going to be key. For UNDP, it's a longer-term issue of saying whatever we put back has to be part of a longer-term recovery effort. So if you look at markets, getting markets up and running again. So people have jobs. I mean, right now, every survey we've done, particularly with young people, they want to leave the country. The drain of skills, of hope, the drain of hope is at a scale that is unimaginable. So it's been 4 or 5 years of being hit hard in so many different ways. But I think the rebuild, construction always resuscitates the local economy. Putting that back together, putting health systems, food systems back together is going to be key. And for UNDP, going from emergency water points to really reconstructing the irrigation and water systems for drinking clean water is a immediate need. These will be in the millions of dollars, so the appeal is going to be much, much more. The initial a few millions that we are using, including as UNDP, is money either already immediately available to us, which allows us to do some of the immediate relief work. But this is going to take a whole lot more to build back a country that is being and has been destroyed for the last 4 or 5 years.
Ms. Wignaraja, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. I've been speaking with Kanni Wignaraja, who is UN Assistant Secretary General and Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific at the United Nations Development Programme.